Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Raid Review. We're going to watch a recorded fight between us, well, recorded fight sequence between us and the extremely good Barcodes group on EP. I would say that the Barcodes are probably, you know, one of the easy S rank guilds that we sometimes encounter in Blackreach. So we're going to be watching that, and with kind of a special eye toward barrier use when we're in like serious mode GVG situations. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Um, you can see it's from last month, but not so long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm on my Warden Healer, wearing Transmutation and Ebon, and I think we have a fully comped raid in this particular fight. So let's see how it goes. Actually, let me tee this up first. Uh, what we kind of so when we die, it's typically when we die in GVG, I should say. It's typically when like the other group gets kind of like a god stack of everybody in the group all in one spot. Usually it happens with a dark convergence, and you know, the healers probably are negated because you can create the dark convergence either with a negate, or you can do it with like a nova and then toss a negate down on top of it. Either way, that's an extremely deadly combination that good groups are going to be deploying against us. So basically, if you're a healer and you're caught in that pull, one, you're kind of in the line of fire, and two, you probably can't do any actual healing because you're probably silenced with a negate. So no Blessing of Restoration, and most importantly, no barriers. I guess just to refresh our memories, our barrier size in the group with all of our raid buffs is about 20k. Higher for some, lower for some, just depends, but 20k is about the average. And you can think of a barrier as a 20k burst heal on potentially everybody in the group. So by far the most bang for the buck in terms of like what you can do with a single cast of an ability. And groups like Barcodes, even though they're only rolling as a 8-man group in this particular encounter, well, 8 players is all they need because their DDs are really good, their damage is really well synced up. I think they're all wardens, so their subs are all hitting at the same time. So basically, 20k burst heal sounds good, dot 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 dot, until you realize that to survive a damage push like that when they're dropping ultimates, you're going to need more than likely just a single barrier. So this is kind of with an eye towards how you as a healer can best position yourself in a GVG. One, to avoid getting pulled in the first place, and then two, so that you can actually like effectively respond when the rest of the group is pulled, like how you help them survive. That is, after all, your entire point in the raid is to be a healer. It's to save the lives of our group members, to avoid wipes. So right now we are at Ailes, and the Barcodes are somewhere up here by the farm, and then I think that other like real salt miner kind of cringe group, the Zergers, is also going to get in on the action on AD. But we're principally concerned with the Barcodes because they are far and away the more dangerous of the two groups.
Right. Here they come. Split wide, split wide, split wide, 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 wide. I can just defensively here.
So you can see that I was kind of behind, kind of off crown in this situation, trying to get back on crown.
Split, 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 split.
Here's a damage push by Barcodes.
Alright, moving closer here, we're gonna go.
You can see I didn't use my barrier on that because there were only maybe 2 or 3 players of ours that were actually in peril. That is actually maybe a borderline scenario. I could have used it there, but I think they survived just with pumping them with burst heals. Of course, being the transmutation healer, you're going to see me put both of my AoE HOTs down underneath the groups, particularly when they get pulled, so that they can get that 25% extra critical resistance, which is ultra important when you're facing good groups like this.
Dump on the next chance we get. Here we go, full alt in 3, 2,
So
1, now.
you can see here, oops, it's a long video.
I can.
Alright, not so easy to just go back.
I can
Okay, we'll just watch this brief sequence over again.
Split.
But yeah, you can see there's maybe 2 players, 3 players that are in danger. Health bars dip, but they survive. This, they kind of stack us and we stack them. Either way, a good portion of our group is in danger here. You can see there's my barrier.
Next to the gate, follow them, follow.
From here, I only have my burst heal. I'm going to wait for my barrier to come back, but you can see how I was offset from the rest of the group, so I didn't get caught in the stack, and of course barrier only has a 12 meter range on it, so you have to be within 12 meters of the stack in order for players caught in the stack to actually get your barrier. But you could see that basically I did that perfectly, that I was offset from the stack and got the barrier down in time for the people who were stacked, and they survived. Of course, I'm not the only healer in that situation, but I didn't see any other barriers going off.
Split. Get out. Woo!
Yeah, see, that wasn't particularly great healing by me. I was kind of focused over here towards the crown, but there was another big stack back here. You see how quickly Barcodes just evaporated them. I don't even necessarily know if they use ultimates there. It might have just been the power of well-coordinated shulks, but they got, 3 members of the group. Potentially they might have been procced by this green bar right here, but, who knows. I will say that we likely had other barriers available to use, and that, I used mine a couple seconds prior, so mine wasn't on deck. But we have 7 healers, and I don't think it's a stretch to assume that one at least of the remaining 6 likely had a barrier, and that they could have deployed it had they been positioned better to deal with this stack.
They're vicious.
What are they?
Oh, they're still after me.
Did we get any gate here on us right here? Because they were low.
So you can see that when we're in this GVG, I'm trying to stay off of the group because I don't want to get stacked. I can still hit everybody with my HOTS from where I am right now. I do want to get a little bit closer because I'm not in vigor range, but generally speaking, I don't want to be hard stacked with everybody else. Don't stack the reses. Don't stack the reses.
And they're still coming after. Somebody's still trying to kill me.
So they just combo back with Dawnbreaker? Here they come.
Well, they can if you have a negate down there. That's my point.
Yeah.
Or a Mongo. Yeah.
You can see right there what Stratus talks about a lot of. That a lot of times the most effective way to get through a ball group is just to roll dodge through them in the opposite direction. My comparison is when you're at the beach and there's heavy surf with big waves coming in. You don't try to go over the top of the wave. That's stupid. You're going to get smashed. You instead dive underneath the wave. So when you see the freight train coming at you, dodge roll through it, dive underneath it. Don't try to go over it or, swim perpendicular or something like that.
Let's drop down, jump out. Down.
So we're bailing on the situation. They're
So
not following us.
Ghosted and his crew is on the flag right now at the farm.
Yeah, so the Zergers are on the farm.
Let's move up there. Going up. Up. Let's go to the flag.
You can see here it's, you want to maintain the ball movement. We're not in any danger of being stacked, so it's fine to be more clumped up.
And go full alts into the first attack in 3, 2.
So on an offensive push here, I'm not actually sure how this is going to play out, but a lot of times our group does stack itself. Obviously the DDs are stacked on the damage point, but often our supports will also get in on that, and sometimes healers will also be in that area. And that makes it a bit of a dangerous situation because groups can counterpunch you after you stack them, especially super dangerous and fast groups like the Barcodes. So that is a situation where you want to have, even though we're the ones attacking, like nominally, you want to have your barrier real ready to go, just in case, you know, the stack on our group comes down, and then a bunch of like Dawnbreakers, as what happened in the previous instance when they wiped or when they killed a few of us. That combination comes real fast and with basically zero telegraphing, and it is enough to kill, you know, basically anybody in the group if we don't respond to it as healers.
One on the stairs, on the stairs. No, no,
Open
no, no, no.
stairs. In the gate.
So you can see
yep,
there was my barrier
Another
there.
gate on the door. Another gate on the door.
Push in, push in, push in, in. Go up the stairs, up the stairs, up the stairs. To middle. Get any of them?
My barrier is almost back,
Yeah,
but you could
we
see
gotta
in the
get-
previous instance when I used it
Got
right on the
Harlan
damage
and-
stack.
Drop down the bottom.
There on the
They're
Ready.
pushing.
I do have my
ready to
barrier
negate us.
back. So now I'm expecting them to push into us, so I'm trying not to be here, which is likely where a Dark Convergence is going to pull people to, or if they Rush of Agony in here or something like that. Like, I'm far away enough here that I'm not going to get pulled into if they push in, whatever that stack is. But I'm still close enough, again, my barrier's up. I can hit anybody who needs to be hit with the barrier if I've, you know, got it all queued up and have my finger on the ultimate button and all that type of stuff, real prepared to cast it. I think in situations like this, like, you want to really, as a healer, kind of cut down on any kind of latency that might get in the way of you being able to cast your barrier. Obviously, you know, there's lag in Cyrodiil, that sort of thing, and a lot of times, not just with barrier, but with most ultimates, they don't cast with the dumb cast times right when you want it to, so that makes it all the more important that basically, like, you are mentally prepared, you are locked in, you are ready to immediately respond to kind of the pattern of events that you recognize as this is a barrier moment, so that the only thing that stands between you and getting the barrier down is that cast time and the engine. Like, you don't want to fight yourself and your own reaction time to be able to get the barrier down.
Damage in us if we can.
So it looks like they're actually not pushing in.
Here they come.
Oh, never mind.
Negate in 3, 2, 1, now.
So I
Come on,
get,
Negate.
Block. Barrier, 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 barrier.
let me actually watch that again. I get stunned, which definitely messes up the ability to barrier, which is actually an error on my part. I probably should have used my pot when they said that they were pushing in.
They're
Ready.
pushing.
Be ready to negate us.
Yeah, so, okay.
Damage in us if we can. Here they come. Negate
I'm like real kind of unclear what I get stunned by here.
in 3, 2, 1, now.
Oh, it's Nightblade Fear. Yeah, Nightblade Fear. And can't really tell what. This doesn't look like a pull because these players are already here. On the other hand, it kind of looked like a Lotus Fan or something, teleport. But either way, it was like a gap close into the fear. And had I had my pot on, I would not be feared. And basically right at this moment, I'd be casting my barrier preemptively in anticipation of this follow-up damage that I think is about to kill some people here.
Come on, Negate.
So we have one person who died. Kali, I think, saves the day here with that clutch negate.
Barrier, barrier, barrier.
So you can see my barrier comes down. It is several seconds later than it ought to have come out. Again, due to my mistake not potting originally.
Barrier, barrier, barrier. Next barrier. Push him, push him, push him, push him, push him, push. Push out, push out, push out.
We'd want to have more barriers saved for this
Bomb us to the door.
contingency.
Split, split,
Guess I'm
split,
getting the
split, split.
res. Just again,
wide,
maybe
split
not
wide,
the
split
best
wide.
decision, but we didn't have any
Here, like
deaths
16
outside, so I
frames.
guess it worked out.
Backing 3, 2, 1, here.
So I don't have my barrier here. Stratus is going for another stack.
You get so many good stacks when it's not an alt attack.
Yeah, that is how it
Split
goes.
wide, get out.
So this is kind of weird because like the group is kind of self-stacked here. I don't love this movement, and that makes it really easy for Barcodes to then get this stack.
Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out.
And so I'm just trying to
Roll on,
pump
roll on.
with burst heals here because I don't have my barrier up. Looks
Yellow
like we didn't
coming
get
in from
punished too badly for
flag.
it. I guess they
Split
didn't
behind, go to
use
the flag,
ultimates.
roll down, roll through, roll through, roll through, come to the flag.
That was a good example of the group going through in the opposite direction of the AD group. But so, I don't know if you just noticed, but we had somebody cast their barrier just now. Like, we're in a sweaty GVG. This is one of those situations where, like, unless you need that mag right now in order to continue your healing rotation, you don't be casting your barrier at a moment like this. There's nothing is happening here. Barcodes is way off, like, towards the village. AD is way over here. AD could turn and come this way. You know, they could drop a Dark Convergence from range here and pull everybody in. And so if, like, you've already cast your barrier, then, like, it's going to get chipped down by a lot of just kind of incidental damage that occurs. It's not really going to be mitigating, like, the main burst of the enemy group. So we really want those barriers to be more of, like, an immediate anticipation or a reaction to being pulled or other extremely dangerous damage moments in the GVG. Don't use it just casually.
Okay, let's push in, moving into the group stairs. Gonna hit EP, fake down the stairs. Don't go down the stairs. Fake.
That is, as we've said a lot, different from how you want to manage your barriers, like when we're fighting a Zerg, right? In that instance, it is good to just roll your barriers basically when you get them, because when we're fighting Zergs, we're typically taking like a lot of kind of sustained damage, and so your barrier actually will count towards mitigating that when you cast it on a rolling basis.
Down the stairs and then damage on her tail in 3, 2, 1. Now. Negate it.
Okay, so Stratus got a pretty good stack. You can see here I'm in the barrier casting animation. My ultimate has been consumed, so this is basically close to the ideal of what you want to be doing as a healer.
Everything here, everything here, everything here, everything here. Oh,
Nice call.
Follow them, follow them, follow them. Okay, now.
This is like, we want another barrier right here because you can see like their proxies are lit. It looks as though they're about to stack and turn on us, and so now is the situation where, again, I'm sure we've got some barriers on deck, and we need at least one of those to come out right now.
Split off, split off, split off.
AD
Off, 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 off.
and then somebody else.
Comes another damage push. I think that was the Lotus Fan over here to Mongo. There is some damage coming in for these folks here. Looks like Kali and Stratus.
Oh.
And yeah, there's the kill. This is again another situation where, like, as a healer, you want to be anticipating the need to get that barrier off. So, like, I think our healers are primarily over here. We want to be creeping. Again, it's like a fine balance between being far enough away such that you don't get stacked versus still being close enough that you can get barrier coverage over the people that need it in the group. And it looks like in this situation, our healers primarily were erring kind of on the side of not being stacked, but that, you know, meant that there were no barriers on the people who were stacked.
Oh.
Don't stack the reses, don't stack the reses. Yeah, that's another kind of perennial issue that we have. Like, this is unnecessary. We don't need 4 people to res 1 person.
Got it.
All that is an invitation to get
reverse the
restacked and
flag.
rebombed.
Go back to flag. Focus on AD here for a second. Stacking. Eventually. 3, 2, 1, now by the tree. Only Zergs. This is the very salt.
Again, that was like some kind of random barrier deployment right there.
Move towards bleeds.
Like that is a moment where you need a barrier to come out. I don't have my barrier up, but whenever there's a stack, basically, you want one barrier to go off to insulate people.
And that was super salty before.
Like we just had 2 barriers go off previously.
Barcodes on flag.
From northwest. Tucking around.
Okay, I got my barrier
building.
back.
They're ready for damage on our tail. Barcode's coming in behind them. Reversing. Reverse. 3, 2, 1.
So this is basically my standard play on a damage push. I'm offset. I'm going to run up to basically the point where my barrier will cover Stratus, and then I'm going to cast it, and then I'm going to just pump burst heals. Even if they're not taking a lot of damage, just pump the burst heals, because you never know when the subs that you missed when they were cast are going to hit, or when they're going to whip out a Dawnbreaker. Like if the entire group crashes this stack here, then after they come off their CC, they could just like 4x Dawnbreaker the entire stack and just like rip everybody. So maintain your spacing, don't crash the stack, and basically preemptively get those burst heals going onto the stack so that you're not, the moment that you react isn't when the group is at 40% health. You want to basically be having those burst heals going in so that any damage that the group takes is immediately topped back up to full.
1 now.
Like the goal is never to have anybody get into 40% health to begin with. You want to keep everybody at 100%.
Reverse to the flag. Go to the flag. Moving to the flag. Next attack's gonna be with full alts here.
Actually, I didn't use my barrier there.
Waiting.
And that would be another mistake. IMO.
Move down the path towards bleeds. Up the hill. Moving in. Full.
Another. So this is the Zergers' less dangerous group by a considerable margin than Barcodes is.
Not yet.
But again, you don't want to just
Want to hit EP.
zone out because the Barcodes are right here.
1 on the tree now.
Renegade.
Push them. Move northeast.
I ran through a bad negate, which was not ideal.
Split off.
Yellow coming in your back door.
Yeah, hit yellow behind us. 3, 2, 1, stacking yellow.
There is incoming, yeah.
Nice.
So use the barrier there.
Here comes.
We were taking damage. I think that's kind of a borderline call. In the moment, it felt like a good place to use the barrier. However, knowing that the Barcodes were lurking off screen, I think we had something like 3 barriers get cast right there. We want at least 1, maybe 2, but I think 3 was a little bit excessive, and I think mine might have been the 3rd, so again, my bad. Especially if we take significant casualties here on this EP damage push.
EP. Split. Roll. Wide. Damage into EP. 3, 2, 1 now.
And it was kind of... See, the stack. And yeah, so obviously I, in hindsight, should have had my barrier for this moment, not cast it over here with AD, but I don't know how many...
Oh, shit.
Wait, what?
Get them. Oh, shit. Peace. Split off.
Yellow coming in your back door.
Yeah, hit yellow behind us. 3, 2, 1, stacking yellow.
You can see that again. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Rolling the barrier. Split now, split now. Here comes the EP. Split, 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 split. Roll,
Kind
roll,
of
roll, roll.
borderline
Wide,
situation.
wide, wide, wide. Damage into EP. 3, 2, 1 now.
This is that kind of, our group is not exactly well, our movement is kind of broken apart here. But again, this is like where, as a healer, you'd want to be positioned right around here where like Kali and I are. Like our spacing is good because they just got stacked with Rush of Agony. The thing that's missing here though is that I don't have my barrier because I just cast it back there, and I guess either nobody else does either, or again just not responding to the stack quickly enough.
Split wide, split wide.
Because you can see how quickly the damage comes in from barcodes. Like as soon as you see the stack, or even like right before the stack when you see them turn around like they're about to do a damage, you want your barrier to come out. And so I feel pretty confident that we've got at least a couple of barriers on some of our healers right now.
I don't know if we have the burst to get them. Wow, shit.
And then this is more like just use
Go
a
wide.
tent,
Yeah.
with the hand res.
Yeah, can't.
It's the, when everybody crowds around the reses, that's like a please kill me again sign. Yeah.
And the barcodes are renowned for running down residents.
Even in the GVG. Alright, so now we get our group back. Do they have like a soul siphon build?
Alright, DDs, here we go.
Okay, so I've got my barrier.
Full alts. 4.
Coming to you.
3.
Things are getting dicey. This is, I want to be casting my barrier like right now and not a moment later.
2, 1 now, right in the middle of us. Get this.
Ooh, nice
Focus
call.
will help. Hey, got one. Follow him uphill, up. Pressure's on him.
Renegade's almost up. Almost up.
That actually was an instance where you could hear me mashing the barrier or the ultimate button, but it not coming out.
Stacking
It's up.
on the camp. 3, 2, 1 on the camp.
Renegade.
Oh, get them.
One. Oh, there's one down. Almost down.
This again, we want people hair trigger to
down,
cast a
split down
barrier,
yourself,
yeah,
yourself,
because they're
yourself,
about to turn on us.
Following himself. Stacking
Yeah,
again.
scared him.
2, 1
Pushing.
now.
So you can see they're going for another damage push.
Careful.
There goes my barrier.
Block.
And that plus the rest of the healing is enough to not take any
What ultimate
casualties.
do you have? Stacking 3.
But danger's not over.
At the bottom.
Anytime you basically have a concentration of them near us, the us is in trouble, or is potentially about to become in trouble.
Hold the Renegade for now.
There's somebody cast a barrier. That's a good cast. We did just get stacked. So again, this is a situation where another barrier should come out immediately. I think I saw one come out. And you can see how effective that is in
Split wide. There we go.
boosting the chances of people surviving being stacked. If they don't get a barrier on the stack, then their odds of survival will go way down.
I got you. I see. No worries. Split. Just wait till Kush has his ult. Stacking no ults. 3,
My movement here is not the best.
1 now. In the middle of them. Splitting wide. We've got
Yeah, there's another dangerous situation. You can see the proxies are lit.
all of our ults up.
I assume that everybody plays with like hostile enemy effects turned on. If you don't, turn that on, because it gives you tons of just context for the fights. Like if you're the type of player that gets caught out like unexpectedly, like in a damage push or things like that, turning on this feature gives you a lot of forewarning of like, okay, you know, a lot of enemy AoEs here from proxy. I need to now focus.
Next one's gonna be full alts.
And you can see it looks like they're coming for a damage push. Don't know where the stack is going to be. I'm trying to backpedal and not be caught up in the stack. There's a bunch of Dawnbreakers. You can see the sword right here. You can see the sword right here. And we probably had a barrier up on these people already, but we basically need another one to come out right now, which is hopefully what I'm about to do. Yeah, so there's the barrier. And you can see a bunch of whirling blades come in. It's probably their execution build with whirling blades. And if we hadn't had first that original barrier and then my barrier afterward, instead of everybody being at 100% health right now, we probably would have several people dead.
There we go, stacking in as soon as I see it.
Similarly, if you ever wonder when we attack other groups and we give it our all in terms of our damage ultimates and other players survive, just like, look, 2 barriers basically mitigated their entire Dawnbreaker combo. That's what other groups do to us. That's like why getting negates down on healers is important, and because they have the power to basically be like, lol, nice damage combo, I don't care.
3, 2, 1, nah, 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 every.
So here's another, I don't have my barrier, but we would want another one to be getting cast, where's an actual healer here? Kali would probably be well positioned to get a barrier to cover everybody here. Looks like Executioner is right here. If he gets a little bit closer, he can cast and hit everybody.
Everything down here, bottom.
We can see someone's barrier does come out. I think that might have been Kali, or maybe Executioner.
Get
Get him, get him, get him!
So we've got him on the run. However, this continues to be a dangerous situation because their DDs are so strong. So we would want additional barriers likely to be coming out as we remain kind of in the middle of them.
Oh, this one's low. Oh gosh.
Got one again though.
Very nice job, everyone. This is very impressive.
Falling down the hill, fall down the hill. No alts. Stacking 3, 2, 1 now. On the right side, right side.
They're backpedaling, trying to draw us towards them. I do have my barrier. Don't really know if that was a stack there or what that was. That's a stack. Need a barrier. Barrier's coming out. Hopefully it'll be in time.
Burst shields, burst shields, burst shields!
And it is. That situation, I can tell you 100%, all 3 of those players would be completely dead had I not got that barrier off right when I did. 1 second later, they'd be dead. I could have gotten it off if I'd been maybe positioned a little bit better. Probably a second, maybe 2 seconds before I got it off, but I was able to get it off at the very last second, and that saved 3 of our group members' lives. And things like that, like saving 2 people's lives, 3 people's lives, you know, you might weigh that against an entire group wipe and be like, okay, you know, what's the big deal if 2 people die? Well, I mean, it's an organized group comp. Like, if 2 players go down, then we're losing their buffs, we're losing their support. It enables kind of this negative snowball situation where it just makes it ever easier to, if you get 2 down, to get, you know, the next 2 down and so forth. You want to keep everybody alive whenever it's possible for you to do that. So here I'm giving their DDs a lot of respect. I'd want no part of being caught in a stack. I think that's going to happen sometime pretty soon. I'm going to get caught up in a stack. We'll see that when it happens, but right now I'm trying desperately not to get caught up in a stack. The Warden Burst Heal has pretty long range, so I can still effectively heal even from far away, but of course my barrier won't reach. Right now that doesn't matter because I don't have a barrier to cast even if I wanted to, so being at range is probably actually the ideal positioning.
There we go, let's go full alts. Next push. Get out, get out, get out, get out. There we go, this one's gonna be full alts. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down by the rocks, by the trees.
There's the stack. I think this is one of our barriers. I don't know who would have been casting that though. It wouldn't be Stratus, that's for sure. It might be an enemy barrier.
28.
I think it must have been an enemy barrier, considering how little damage they're taking here.
Get it, get it, get it, get it.
Again, stressing we need additional of our barriers to be coming out here.
Get it. Oh, come on.
Heavy pressure on
Slow
them.
down.
But again, they can turn on us at any
Just got
second.
a Nova. That helped. Push them, push them, push them, push them. Backing again.
I got one.
Watch out for a counterpull.
Yeah, Collie knows
Down
what's
them,
up
down
here.
them, down them. They're going down.
This is, I guess, our kind of slow motion wipe of them.
Almost there.
Obviously not super
Oh, come
clean,
on,
but
get him.
we'll
There
take what
you
we can
go.
get against such a good group.
Alright. We'll take it.
They do get a camp, yeah.
Just find us. Just find us. Just find. Just find us. They get it, get it. They get it.
So annoying. Okay, there's their
That
camp.
Nova was helpful. Whoever
Mhm.
put that.
Me?
Yeah, we just need that little extra burst to
I think I'm actually the only Templar in the group.
Executioner making
Yeah.
good use of his Nova.
that this is where I can see that fourth DD making the biggest difference.
So
against
Barcodes
those
is over
strong
here, I
ballers.
think.
Yeah.
Well,
more
the main
damage.
ball groups are running 5 DDs now. So.
Oh,
If one
five.
of them's running 6, right?
Well, ED when they do a full
jeez.
12 man, yeah.
Oh, they're coming behind us?
Yeah.
Nailed,
Yep.
nailed, nailed, nailed. Go down. Help back line, reverse. Damage behind us and full ults actually. 3.
I don't really know why people were this far away from ground,
No,
but
no, no, no. T. 1. No, up by the tree on the tree.
another situation. We need a barrier, hopefully my barrier, to be coming out
Okay,
ASAP.
Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it.
Another negate on the hill.
I guess I'm waiting for them to actually
Push them
turn.
up, come up, 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 up.
Block,
up,
block,
up.
block, block,
Yeah,
block.
so there was the turn and there was my barrier.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
They're gonna counterpull. They're gonna counterpull.
Yeah, this is again, I hope that, I mean, depending on how long you've been part of a ball group and played against other groups, hopefully everybody will come to be able to recognize like when we're being baited, trying to be drawn into a choke or something like that. And as a healer, this is when you want to start giving your distance, giving respect to the other group, start cheating off of, you know, Stratus's location, so that you don't get caught up in what's very likely to be an impending pull.
Split. Executioner barrier. Stacking on the tree.
Hasn't happened yet, but you can see they are more than ready for anything that we're about to do. And if we funnel ourselves to go through this gap, then
Three.
watch out.
2, 1 now.
There. Oh, what the? Drat. Okay. Oh yeah, that's when I get killed.
Stacking. Just find us. And
No, we can
full
just
ults
watch the
actually.
sequence again.
No. T. 1. No. Up by the tree on the tree on the
Renegade.
tree on the tree. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it.
Another negate on the hill.
Pushing them up. Come up, 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 up.
Block,
up,
block,
up,
block,
up,
block,
up.
block.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
They're gonna counterpull. They're gonna counterpull.
Split. Executioner barrier. Stacking.
Our
on
rapids
the
are
tree on
dropping. Okay.
3, 2, 1 now.
Yeah, there's the pull.
Left them.
And you can see their damage come in here. We want barriers, we want barriers.
Block.
It didn't end up costing us. There might have been somebody's barrier, I couldn't really tell.
Uphill. Stacking. 2 cards.
Low on
2 cards.
resources.
Yeah, same. Orbs. Cinder. Cheese.
Someone else just cast kind of a random rolling barrier.
Just waiting here. Let them come to us.
Which again, casting your barrier is
back
kind
up.
of an
As soon as they
assumption.
come back up now, back
in
up
order
now,
to
back up now,
sustain.
Back up. Rapids. Damage. Up the hill, north.
But it's still
these are
not super
Go
ideal.
up, 3, 2, 1. Stacking.
It's another, I'm probably going to cast my barrier on the damage stack
No
here.
ults yet. Nothing yet. split now. Split back over the hill south.
Right here, we need a barrier. There we go.
Come further south.
They ended
further
up
south.
not kind of pushing that situation on us.
Next one, this one's gonna be with full alts. Nothing yet, nothing yet.
My barrier's
They're pushing,
almost
they're pushing.
back, though.
Back. Down the hill, down the hill. Here we go. Split wide, split wide.
Bear
Here
is
they come,
back.
here they come, here they come.
I am too far off crown here.
Here we go. Counterattacking full alts to the east. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It looks like they just stacked us. Okay, you can see my barrier's about to come out.
The one's close to us. The one's close.
There it
to us.
is.
Yo!
Fall down the hill. Southwest, 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 southwest.
There was a follow-on barrier
By the
that I
tree,
just
by
saw.
the tree, by the tree. Let's go up. Follow them, following. Stay in close, stay in close.
They're putting you in a choke. Okay. I was gonna say don't.
This is another situation. Need barrier, need barrier, need barrier, need barrier.
Alright, split. Recover here. Split.
Yeah, need barrier, need barrier, need barrier, need barrier. Confident that we have barriers available, but our healers aren't reacting in time or they're not spaced properly.
Wide. Just one person res. Stacking up top in 3, 2, 1 now.
Saw a barrier go off, that was good. Again, they're trying to draw us, they're trying to bait us.
Let's do this next one with Executioner.
And that's how you juke a pull.
Again. Back. No alt yet. Following them. Stacking 3, 2, 1 on top.
However, I won't be so lucky in a couple seconds.
I thought I was just going
Split wide.
I have my barrier.
First, you like crazy, Golly. I don't know. You. Then
I don't know how I lived.
Yeah,
2%
so
on
you can see how they basically resorted to. They haven't been able to get like the big singular wipe of us, but they are talented enough at dispensing their damage that they can basically just pick us off one at a time. I got stacked with Sky. She survived. I did not. Well, she barely survived. I did not. But you can see how this group is just really good. Like that Zergers group wouldn't be able to do this, but Barcodes can. So, you know, we were kind of split wide. I was kind of out of position, and they punished that.
till you through it. Because they're trying.
See, look at that. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. 3 subs and a Dawnbreaker, and there's probably like another Dawnbreaker up here. Can't believe I died to a bash though. That's that feels bad.
Trying to single down people at this point.
Split. Let's move southwest. Get further away.
Yeah.
Based Kush tries to get the
They're just
res.
targeting people one by one, basically, at this point. That worked.
The fight's about to move down closer to the keep, I
Oh, I'm
believe.
next. Fuck.
We need a camp.
Hey, Dick, camp,
Based
camp,
Soka.
Now they got me,
Yeah, see, they're just kind of hunting down
and I can't.
players
jump
one by
out.
one.
They got me.
Reses /
As I abandoned Kush, who tried to res me.
Yeah. We're in this one for it, alright.
Make your way back together. Build your alts to full 500 stacks on this day.
Okay, it's kind of boring.
Go back.
With them, just try to get the lowest one down. Don't worry about like the entire group.
Yeah.
Kind of like they were doing.
I think we
to
just
us.
have maybe
Yeah,
5 more
exactly.
minutes of fighting with them.
Low health. Moving closer to them. Moving towards them. Front of the key. No
Push.
ult. No ult yet. 3, 2, 1. Stacking. And back to the key.
Barrier
back,
situation
back,
here.
back.
Too slow to save Kali.
Coming closer. Down. Front of the key, front of the key, front of the key. Let's go full alts here.
I think that
Pressure them.
Barcodes was really trying to sweat down Collie because they know him.
One now. On the corner, on the corner, on the corner. Everything here, everything here, everything here.
There's another situation where we need barriers coming out. There was one, but we need subsequent
Back
barriers here
Northern barrier.
because
Back,
we're
back,
like
back,
staying
back,
on
back,
this
back,
stack for a prolonged period of time. I've got my barrier. I'm waiting
Back,
for
back,
like
back,
another
back.
stack.
Trying to get this one in us. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up.
You got an EP Zerg here now too.
Coming around behind the key. Damage on our tail.
Need a barrier.
Barrier. Damage into them.
Again, my barrier,
Sweet.
I was stacked, which is what I've been trying to avoid basically this entire night.
Coming closer. Down. Front of the key, front of the key, front of the key. Let's go full alts here. Coming closer. Coming closer.
So annoying. Okay, well, whatever. We
On
won't
the
watch
stairs,
that
keep
again.
One on the stairs, bottom of the stairs.
Ooh, needing more barriers here.
On the stairs.
There's
Push
some.
them up. Push on them.
I think we had overlapping barriers, however, which is where calling your barriers is very
Build out. Let's reverse. Go up the stairs. Back up, back up, back up.
beneficial.
Work your way towards the stairs. We're going up the stairs.
Really
Sky
dicey
barrier.
situation
Go up,
here.
up.
Almost have it. My barrier. Kind of waiting for anybody
Stairs,
on the
stairs,
tail if they get.
stairs. Build all resources, orbs. Synergies.
Someone had a godly barrier back there when they stacked like
Yeah.
half the group.
Oh my gosh. Need to use a different player.
Coming closer. Down.
Okay.
Front of the key.
We'll just watch this entire
Full
sequence
alt
again
here.
then.
Pressure them. 3, 2,
And then
1,
that'll
now,
probably
now,
be
now.
it, 'cause
On
I
the corner,
think
on the corner. Everything here, everything
They
here, everything
zoned
here.
a Grey Host pretty quickly afterward.
Back to the key now. Gorthan barrier. Back.
Yeah, so kind of random barrier use there.
back.
Maybe they just got them available, but we kind of needed those barriers
Get this
about
one in us. Back up,
7
back up,
seconds
back up,
prior to
back
when
up.
they were cast.
You got an EP Zerg here now too.
Coming around behind the key.
So, yeah, looked like Rush of Agony. Here's the Nightblade Fear. There's maybe a third to a half of our group that's caught here.
Damage on our tail. Block. Barrier. Damage into them.
Didn't actually catch the barrier, but
Sweet. On the stairs. One on the stairs. Bottom of the stairs.
Renegade.
Bottom of the stairs. Push them up. Push on them. Stay with them.
I don't know if you noticed, but a couple people's health bars went way down, but then as quickly as they went down, they went back up, which is like, that's the type of thing that we, you know, from DD perspective, we complain about, well, not complain, but give like grudging respect to when we fight against other good groups about how like, oh man, like we gave it everything we had, but in the end it didn't even matter. But look, we did the exact same thing there, so go us against, again, such a good group. We can do it.
Let's reverse. Go up the stairs. Back up. Work your way towards the stairs. We're going up the stairs. Sky barrier. Go up. Nova, Executioner Nova on this one.
This is, I think, our last engagement with them.
Moving into
We have a big tail.
Nothing yet. Try to get them to follow us in behind. No
You're
ult yet,
pushing?
no ult yet.
Push.
Back up. Rapid. Behind the key.
They didn't have any barriers over there.
Hold on, reverse. Let's push
Okay,
them a
don't
little
stack
bit.
together.
One here, hit them.
I didn't know anybody else was there.
Need a barrier here.
Uh-oh.
Let's see, you can see
Their pull
mine came out 1 second too late, and 3 people died.
Dawnbreaker combo is so fast.
It's not just Dawnbreaker too.
Oh,
it's
it's
the,
Deep Ender,
it's the
so-
sub. They're all on Wardens. So
Yeah.
they time the proxy, the subs, and the Donnies all together.
Yeah,
And vicious death,
vicious.
both.
Wait, they're running VD?
That was in my killed recap. Dawnbreaker, VD, Deep Fisher, and Proxy Dit.
Yeah, so I think we basically were done with this. I think we move on to go do something else, or they port out to Grey Host or something like that. But anyway, don't know how long this video is, but I did want to rewatch this before it faded too far into our memories, of just kind of like what good barrier usage looks like in those instances where it was good, what bad barrier usage looks like in those situations where we had bad barrier usage, and also what no barrier usage, which is potentially the worst of them all, also looks like. You can see in these videos, or in this video, that demonstrably we can survive gnarly damage pushes from amazing groups such as the Barcodes if we, do these things from a healer perspective correctly, if we keep good spacing where we're close enough to stick on crown or in the area of the crown, but not so close that we present an appealing target to be stacked with the rest of the group. If we prepare to cast our barriers immediately because we anticipate moments when a stack might be coming on us, or when a damage push by us might turn into a defensive situation. Obviously you want to keep your burst heals going. I didn't really comment on any of that, but that's what I was doing primarily when I didn't have my barrier available, is to just unload as many burst heals as possible onto the stack or to those people that were stacked, or were in danger, surrounded by EP. And yeah, principally I suppose if you're one of those folks that doesn't cast that many barriers over the course of the raid, this is sort of a good illustration of what to do in the GVG, but again, the situation when we're fighting Zergs is much different. You generally want to cast your barriers more liberally in those situations. But in these GVG, you want to dial it back a little bit. You want to be a little bit more conservative with them. Err on the side of holding your barrier for a moment where we actually need it as a group, because we did see a couple of those situations where people unloaded their barriers just kind of on a random rolling basis when we weren't in danger, and then 10 seconds later, well, turns out we need those barriers. So yeah, it's all balance, and experience generally is what will assist the most, but just wanted to give an example of what the good, the bad, and the ugly of barrier use in a GVG looks like. Anyway, thank you for watching this as long as it has been, and hopefully some of it was of interest and useful to you, and hopefully we can get a little bit of it to translate the next time that we have a sweaty GVG. Alright, thanks. Bye.